So, what happens when we reach to the so called highest state? Anything extraordinary? No. We become humble, ordinary in life because extraordinary means an individuality. And individuality means the ego is ruling the life. Why we are ordinary? Because the existence is ruling my life, my body, my mind, my intellect. That is only possible. That is only possible when we realize our real nature. So we are progressing and understanding the enemies of the mind. Once we purify, once we purify the mind, enemies of the mind are gone. When the enemies of the mind are gone, then only the self inquiry takes place. Sometimes people talk to me and they are highly intelligent, their IQ level is very high, and that IQ keeps the ego intact. And when the IQ keeps the ego intact, and they said, no, I know it, I have done the self inquiry, this is real and this is unreal. And they keep on reacting throughout the day. So that is why I said we do not become extraordinary. We become just an ordinary. So when we are ordinary, we are humble. Extraordinary means IQ is high. So IQ keeps the ego alive. And when IQ keeps the ego alive, enemies of the mind, ego, commander in chief. Commander in chief takes the help of likes and dislikes, takes the help of the desire for seeking happiness outside. Then we have hesitation, and ultimately we have a activities, repeat activities, expecting a different result. So there is no change, there is no transformation. My friends, this journey is like a snake and ladder game. You feel that you have reached to the height, and next moment you are gone. We all know that it's a snake and ladder game. We might have played in our journey. It's like you have 99% you have a purity of the mind and 0.0001% impurity. Ladder, ladder, complete the sentence. You know it. It takes us down. So, what are the indications that we are evolving and rising? And no, to talk about it, it's very easy. To talk, oh, I have been doing the practice. You remember these principles when you are challenged. Who is challenging you? Ego commander in chief. How they are challenging you? By likes and dislikes, by reaction, by desire. Yesterday, Stephen was telling me that I had a bad day, and then he recognized, he started doing the practice. That is one approach, right approach. Other approach, nothing happens by this practice. We have been doing for so many days and weeks and months and years. So recognizing that I'm not worthy of suffering and taking up the practice, getting out of it. I hope Stephen will explain it while sharing the experiences. So please journey of the life cannot be put on autopilot. It's a conscious living. And when the enemies of the mind are gone, then it is a joy of conscious living. The ultimate goal of meditation is the joy of conscious living, wherever you are, in any situation, in any condition. We are not changing the world, we are changing ourselves. Our perception of the world has changed. Why our of the world has changed? Initially, it was a perception by the commander in chief, and now it is the perception of the real self. Now is the time to pay attention. Perception of the real self, of the real self. Why? Existence is all pervading. There is no duality, there is no division. That is why I have started asking how many times you were upset, anxious, absolutely busy since the last session. Did you live your life consciously? So once we understand clearly what exactly is this self-inquiry, what exactly is this self-inquiry, and we digest it and assimilate it, we will pick up the greatest of all the text and teaching, uh, that is the Gita. At present, we are just understanding what exactly is the highest method to purify the mind. Not only to purify the mind, but to continue the journey to realize and recognize that entity which we have been saying as real self. Say, for example, you have reached to that state. Do you need any principle? No, you don't need any principle. You have reached your home. Do you still need car? The car is just parked in the garage. You don't need it. It is the journey. Why you remember those principles? It is just like during the COVID, what we have been doing, washing the hands a couple of times. So you're washing the mind with these principles the moment you enter into the world. All the time. You are ready. Someone says you are crazy, so you have washed your mind and then you are ready to respond. You live into that state of awareness. Why? It is mine. It is me. I believe you are getting it now. Otherwise, we don't need any principles. Yeah, as a teacher, if you want to be a teacher, obviously, then you have to follow the same process. So, self inquiry. So, what exactly, what changes takes place? What we are doing? We are doing a self discovery. But if I don't recognize that I'm living in ignorance, then what is the use of self discovery? So, when a person does not recognize that the person is living in ignorance, IQ is very high, commander in chief has taken over. I was telling, Stephen and Sam yesterday, the same guy returned to me and he said, no doubt, I appreciate his intelligence. I'm not bringing it down. IQ is definitely required to have a successful business. I don't have much IQ. That's why. He returned again. No, Now, so I have recognized that everything is real. Then why you are fully busy? Why you are changing the time again and again? You don't have even in 1 hour on a single day to attend the session. So because he is rich, he says, no issue, sir. I humbly submit that please send me the video. I will listen to it whenever I have a time. So I have a time. I'm fully busy. That ego is getting recognized amongst the employees. I'm making millions. That I cannot leave, even for an hour. It is not that we should not earn money, but that commander in chief must work under me. If it doesn't work under me, so for that, we need to work on listening and learning, contemplation and reflection. The more contemplation and reflection we do it, as long as there is an ignorance, commander in chief will continue to work in an unripe stage. I got the message today in the morning. So please, if you have time, send me another video. So is it the ego has certain fear that ego will be crushed when you attend a live session? Yes. I know it. But I'm not going to respond to him. Understand, my friends. So that is why we stressed on conventional methods. Conventional methods to connect, to contribute, and celebrate. Ashoka is going at the peak of the Himalayas, where my master used to live in a monastery. So this is connecting, contributing, and celebrating. We should be doing it if we have an opportunity. But the best method, again, my master himself used to say it is the self-inquiry is the best method. The self-inquiry has to be done in a waking state. If you recall, not only in a waking state, but I have to be wise. So here the wisdom means I am not worthy of suffering in any situation, in any condition. Normally people tell me a good stories. For the last 10 years, I have a lot of problems. So when your first problem came to your life 10 years ago, you're still remembering. You have a very big ego. I carry the burden of my stress, for the last 10 years. Then you are the craziest guy. No solution can be found. Another 10 or 20 years, you will carry the same burden. Do you remember what food you ate when you were 10 on the same day at the same time? You don't know. And you know that, somebody has done harm to me. So you are worthy of suffering. We need a self inquiry. I believe you are getting it. The root cause of this suffering, obviously, that commander in chief never forgets. I can never forget the way he insulted me. Why you forget the way he praised and appreciated you 100 times, only one time insult. What is the ratio? You see, that is where we need a self inquiry. Root cause of the suffering in the beginning of his self inquiry. In the last time we discussed about this guy, Maharshi Raman, At the age of the 16, he heard it and he said that I can transcend the death, and he lied down in Shavasana, that we already know it. Lie down on the ground, and he remained in that state. He faked through his mind to the body what it looks like when you are dead. We will be scared. And even at the age of 16, he did not move the body. So his mind was inquiring. So what happens when the body is dead? The body doesn't move. Okay, I will not move the body. So what happens when you don't move the body? Mind has to withdraw within, because the body is the servant of the mind. Action, action, what mind thinks, what mind desires have to be translated into action by the body. Did you get it? We're just going a little deeper. So he said, I'll not move. And he remained in that state of, that is the first thing. Then, second, after realization, he said, I kept my awareness on the I thought. I am speaking. So your I is listening. So you are aware of that I inside you who is listening, and that I who is speaking. What happened? So he says, what happened? I disappeared. What remained is the pure consciousness. And I realized that that pure consciousness is I am. That is what the awakening is. Because pure consciousness is all pervading. My master used to say that, oh, you see that I am different from you, but I see and experience the same I which is here is already present in all of you. You see that I am your teacher, but I see we all are not different. Why? Pure consciousness is all pervading. That is what the awakening is. But as long as we are attached to the body, because of Commander in Chief, it will not happen. So we need a self inquiry. But without applying the previous steps, the self inquiry will not work. Conventional methods, we continue to purify the mind. We have to live our life in an organized manner. We have recognized that I'm fairly unorganized because of the craziness of the mind. I'm fully busy. But why am I fully busy? For peace and happiness? But peace and happiness do not belong to the world. Can you tell me any person, any object in the world whose property is peace and happiness? No, my honey, I love my honey, and honey also loves me. Not everyone loves your honey, otherwise, everyone will chase your honey because they have a property of peace and happiness. You'll be in trouble. I understand. Conclusion is that peace and happiness cannot be the property of anything, any person in the world outside. That is one state of the purity of the mind. So until then, we have to follow all those practices. Because this masters ultimately, then he reached to that state. He never taught that you should be doing the same thing, Shavasana. No, it is your choice. But you understand, after doing the preliminary purification of the mind, we reach to the self inquiry, and we are understanding what exactly is the self inquiry. I will not answer how long we have to do the self inquiry. You recognize it. You live into that state. When? All the time. Where? In all the locations. With whom? In all relations. That is where we recognize. The master says that what happens when that I thought, you wake up in the morning, the I thought says, go to the restroom, go to the kitchen, do this. I thought links to an idea and a past impression with whom we had a fight yesterday, with whom we reacted, that I thought. So he says a constant awareness of that I ness in me. That is how he explained. We will understand the different ways of self inquiry. So once the mind is purified, mind is purified, the mind discerns clearly, or the intellect discerns clearly that I am not the body, I am not the breath, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. So you live into that state. I resolved what I resolved that I will give you a lesson today. I. What is that I? That I is an individual. Individual is a unit. Unit is made up of the parts. So that I as an individual is equal to body, breath, mind, intellect, senses. That is all. Now ask yourself, am I the body? No, I possess the body. We normally say, I am it is my body. It is my car. It is my watch. So when we use the word my and I are different, separate. So when we focus on that I awareness, then we are able to separate. So there is a practice that comes. When we do the practice, we close our eyes. It's a symbolic. Do you still remember that I discussed about it? So when we close our eyes, it means it is a symbolic understanding, or you can say it is an awareness that recognizes, that has a cognition ability, that these sense organs are windows to the world outside. They do not see anything inside. They are outward moving. So you see, when they are outward moving, that is why through the mind I recognize you, how many people are there. That is how I recognize uh, you all are listening to me. That is how I recognize my computer. So I recognize the objects and the people through these five sense organs, and the objects and the sense organs are different. I see the mouse. My eyes is different from the mouse. So that is the journey. That is why we close our eyes. We should have that understanding when we start practicing meditation. And once we are aware that I'm aware I close my eyes, the entire world outside dissolves. Why? I'm moving inside. I'm rising in awareness. But it is not moving inside. I'm still thinking. Mind is still attached. That is how this ego or the I thought or the commander in chief works. Outward nature of the senses, outward nature, that is by default. And then the mind supports it. The mind supports by memory, mind supports by likes and dislikes, mind supports by desire for seeking peace and happiness. That is the reason the mind is distracted. Are you getting it? So there I need to have a self-inquiry. I remember, oh, that is how the mind is acting. Mind, now I'm not supporting you. I'm not supporting you means I'm aware of that I-ness in me, how this I-ness is working based on the past memory, likes and dislikes, its siblings, and then it reacts to the body, and the body moves into extreme tiredness or becomes fully busy, and the whole life is disturbed. Now it is easy for you to understand that. It's a very subtler layer of awareness. That is what this master recognized. That is the best method. That is why we have to follow the best method supported by the conventional methods. Now, see, at least this guy who returned to me after many years. At least one thing is very clear, that he is interested. He wants to know. He still feels the sense of incompleteness. That is why he approached me. So simple. So I must appreciate him. So I still have that sense of appreciation to that guy. So where is the problem? He is very intelligent. He claims that he understands, and still he does not change. Do you see that? That is what we need to inquire. That is what we need to inquire. Then we start blaming the world. No, I have been so kind to you, and you have been so ruthless to me. Why you have been kind to me? Who told you? Who told you to be kind? Are you getting? We need to inquire my every thought, my every speech, my every action. You may say, okay, from today I will never be kind to you. That too is a problem. Both are ruled by the same commander in chief. Are you getting it? No, but again, the last point is very important here. Why this happens? And you can ask this question. I've been trying my best, but it is not happening. So that commander in chief is constantly attacking me with its armies of likes and dislikes, desire, hesitation, greed, selfishness. So selfishness can be removed by connecting, contributing, and celebrating my life every day, being wise, choosing what is right and good. You see that. So you are weakening it. I have done it for a couple of years. Nothing is happening. Why don't you understand? So I will just I'm picking up another principle. He says that there are two levels. You are purifying the mind. That purification of the mind will help you in your personal, professional, social, and family life. But there is a reservoir of impressions since our birth that we have accumulated. They trigger our mind. They push me backward. I take 5 steps forward, they push me 10 steps backward. So in the Gita, I'll just give a brief and then we will start our practice. So there is a non seeker and there is a seeker. Both were good friends of the teacher. Good friends, wonderful friends. So this teacher asked a non-seeker, and he started speaking about the real self. The non-seeker said to the teacher, "Don't teach me. I know what is right, but I am unable to follow what is right." It comes from the deep impressions that is already stored from many births or since birth, you can say that. I know what is right and good, but I fail to do what is right and good. Some force in me, he says, some force in me pushes me to react, to be angry, to be agitated. I forget all those principles. But don't teach me because I know everything. How many times we have done this? Everyone has done it, including me. I will admit this. And a seeker friend says that I'm confused why it is happening to me. I don't want to get agitated, react. Please guide me what is right and good. And there the journey starts of the self discovery. I should understand. I understand what is right and good. I understand to that level where the intellect has 100% conviction. The moment you have a conviction, the intellect takes over the mind, you become free. It started with the snake and ladder game, my friends. So all our entire journey for so many weeks, months, and years will fail because of these two reasons. We have to continue to rise up. We don't allow the ladder to make us fall. Let us start our practice. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. Body, no struggle. Check it. You see that every point, the struggle, you are aware first. The master says, I thought. I become aware of that I thought all the time, including the practice. So when I become aware at this time that I thought I'm struggling to keep my body comfortable, impurity of the mind. You recognize, you become the master to yourself. Fact is that that is my goal. So when you become the master of your life, that is good. No struggle. Comfort is there. Move the mind and the entire body. Pay attention. Never forget now you all are seekers. In the very beginning, I simply said, look at the body part, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Now I'm using the same step, but it is full of wisdom. What is that? You are aware of the body, physical awareness. You are aware of the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. It is a subtle awareness. I believe you all see. Then we see the space. Whenever I say move within, it means rise in awareness. The space is awareness, and awareness is the space. And then instantly, I believe you all understood it and digested it like the mental highway. Mental highway, the lane one, unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are there. You are aware, that is all. You need not to fight with it. When you are not fighting, you are an observer who is an observer lane two of the same mind. Oh, and the moment you are observer, you have already separated unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. They are coming, let them come. The traffic is moving outside. I'm sitting in my house. Then what? You see, just slowly I'm taking, we all are moving to what exactly is the self inquiry. So, what is happening? You are not fighting as if you are not doing any practice. It is the knowledge, reflection, both are working, my friends. Very good. So you see that we have evolved, we have made these steps very subtle. So unless we understand it, we follow the entire journey, it becomes impossible. Oh, you're talking of the three lanes of the highway. We need to contemplate and reflect. Now you see that I associated the next step, that is being in auspiciousness. I stressed on that point. The first step is you wake up in the morning, you should have that sense of auspiciousness. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. The mind will say, why should I chant? No religious reason. Only one reason you are chanting. These are the new words that stuck, that goes into your mind. It triggers the brain. Anything new learning. Perhaps our masters have realized thousands of years ago. And then, no, we'll not stop there. We'll go to the meaning. Let everyone be happy. There are many meanings, but let it be so. When I am aware, the same ego thought is aware that happiness, everyone is searching. Happiness is the essential nature of everyone. All unwanted, unwelcome thoughts subside, dissolves. That needs to be understood. When that understanding is there, you will not be able to move the body. Maharishi Raman did for 6 hours. Keep lying down. It is possible for us also in that state. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let there be peace for all. So we are crushing our ego, even expressing the word that let there be peace for all. The ego says, I am blessing everyone. No. How this commander in chief is crushed, look at it. So what we are saying after that, the peace is the essential nature of everyone. Everyone is seeking peace in the world. And when the peace is essential nature, what the commander in chief will do? It is very important to not only to understand. When I am giving blessing and grace to everyone, then obviously this commander in chief will make its presence felt. Outer expression, then the inner meaning. That is why the master says wisdom, waking state. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Let there be completeness in all. You see that when everyone is complete in themselves, in itself, in the entire universe, where this commander in chief will go. Ego will rise only if I can demonstrate how I am different from you and how much, to what quantity. And then what we are saying, what is the essence that everyone is complete in it oneself? Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Peace, happiness, completeness in all the beings. So we and for example, I'm saying it to make you understand that cognition should enter into our head. What is that cognition? We all in the Bill Gates are equal in the same. Why? Peace, happiness, and completeness. But our ego says no. He has this much of money, I don't have it. Did the Bill Gates said you know? So I created my own interpretation. I had a wrong perception by projection of the mind. Why? You already know it. You see the importance of the purity of the mind. Now looking inside the forehead, where? Forehead in the face. Shantoham, gently. And start breathing short and gentle breath through the rib cage. Keep on, continue. Mind will definitely object. We have to get rid of that. Endurance is required. Keep on, continue. Continue the journey. And stop it. Do nothing. Recognize. So I'm stressing on that point for the last couple of sessions. Recognize, accept the changes. What are the changes? Changes may be freshness, more energy, relaxation, calmness, one category. Second is the tingling, numbness. Third category, as if you are transcended the body. It's okay. Let the time come without doing these breathing, we can still transcend the body. Keep on doing the Shanto hum inside and then start with the belly breathing. It's a longer breath. Every time you inhale, expand the belly. Every time you exhale and squeeze the belly. Endurance. We are checking the mental endurance, not the physical endurance. Or you can say we are developing six pack of the mind, not of the body. The body remains totally steady. Your focus remains on the belly. Expansion of the belly while inhalation and contraction while exhalation. It is rhythmic. Shantoham continues. Oh, so many things you have given to the mind. The moment the mind says so many things I have to remember, the mind is impure. But we will keep on doing it for a couple of weeks more before we move further. Keep on. The mind reacts and agitates over the breath even for 3 minutes. You become aware of it. You are wise. And then see what happens. You restart. That is the breathing practice. Breathing practice is not simply doing the practice and unconsciously and habitually. That we are already doing it every day. That is why we are alive. 3 minutes. The mind says, I will do by force. Oh, the mind is already agitated. Do you recognize? I'm taking you all to a very subtler nature of the self inquiry, my friends. And after a few weeks, we'll say, oh, this is so easy. That I thought will say that I'm exhausted. What should I do? Okay, Commander in Chief. Ladder, we are going down. I'm just pointing you. You just become aware. That is required. And now stop this practice also. I said recognize, accept the changes that is taking place. Take interest in that, but remain detached. You may have a beautiful experience, but I'm not my experience. They give me an indications that where I'm. Go back to the space inside the forehead, my friends. Chantuham continues. And now is the time to do long, deep, and the hissing breath, both from the belly and the chest. You inhale. You inhale into the belly and the chest. You exhale from the belly and the chest. Why I say hissing sound will stop your mind to react because you're taking a long breath into the belly and the chest.
Mm.
It's not that you force your breath. What is paying attention? That you are definitely, it's a longer breath. First, you expand your belly, continue expanding your ribs, and while breathing out, squeeze your belly in the chest. That is one point of awareness. Shantoham is the second point of awareness. Living into that state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness is the third point of awareness. Now leave this step, recognize, accept. Recognize and accept is a cognitive ability. You see that you will experience, or no, you will recognize by these experiences that you live at a higher level of awareness, a sense of dispassion towards the body, mind, thought, feeling, sensation. What that means, it is a higher awareness. What does it mean? You can easily now take your mind deep inside the cave of your heart, recognize the triangle pointing upward. There you recognize your awareness. First point of awareness, the sides of a triangle. Second point of awareness, dropping Shantoham. Third point of awareness, you are sinking. Fourth point of awareness, you are doing clockwise and anti-clockwise. Why we do it? We want to check if the mind has a easy flow, natural flow. There is no objection. Why? To observe. When you find that sink is there, mind goes deep inside the center of a triangle. You're singing Shantu, and Shantu is pushing the mind deep inside the cave of the heart. And their mind seemingly stop. You say hum, and then do nothing. Find there is a self absorption. If it is there, self absorption does not mean that you have forgotten yourself. The moment the mind, lane one, disturbs you, do it again. I'll be adding few more steps to deepen your practice as we continue. And now leave this, go to the japa part of it. So here the japa is not a normal japa that we are doing. We are engaging the mind fully. The mind's eye, the mind's ear is listening. The Shantuham, you are saying the mind's touch. You see that? All the senses are actively engaged inside without bypassing the physical sense organ. Keep on doing it. You already know it. Shantuham. And you experience the sensation of the touch. You experience the sound. When your tongue is not moving, everything is happening mentally. We are going deeper. Please continue, my friends. Shantuham, Shantuham. Every Shantuham. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. With that awareness, raise both your palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences openly, bluntly, whatever you experience. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good, thank you. Definitely not worthy of suffering. Um, use
Good.
today's lesson to reflect on um, just everything we've learned and everything that I've felt in the last 48 hours. And today's meditation was just spectacular. Um, It was peaceful. It was quiet. It was nothing. It was complete emptiness from start to finish. And I did struggle trying to come out of it. So
Uh,
I'm sure I could have just have sat here longer. So thank you.
yes, when you say I'm not at all worthy of suffering, what happens? Just think, inquire. Mind says goodbye to the past until now, until this moment. Not by force, but in the field of awareness. That is what happens. And why it happens? Because the mind lives into that state of the purity. What is the result? Peace and happiness. So start using struggle the way Stephen used. I had a struggle to come out of the meditation. I'm not saying anything more. I have a lot of struggle in my life because you are a special being. How are you, David?
Very good. Thank you, sir. I had a little struggle with my commander in chief at the beginning, and so I just said to myself, focus and breathe. And after that, I frankly don't really remember too much other than the various stages we went through, and it was very simple, clean, clear, wonderful. So interesting start, but it ended up amazing. Thank you.
Beautiful. You see, the struggle with the commander in chief will continue at the two levels. First, that we have a lot of impurities, likes and dislikes in our personal, professional, and social life. It takes time to change. And the second, that it triggers from the impressions that is already stored unconsciously, habitually, of which we are not aware. But to recognize it, changing its direction, and continuing the practice. That is what uh, David just explained. It may take 10 years, like this, our friend who returned to me again and again, or it takes a fraction of a second. How are you, Jay?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. I meditation was great, and the lesson I always appreciate. I find just your humor is wonderful, and your analogies and they're so relatable because we have all been there, and so when you say it, we understand it right away, and we find ourselves in unfavorable situations. And when the mind isn't attached to something maybe that we went with, maybe we find ourselves there and we expected something and then it's unfavorable. When we're living wisely, we're not attached to why we're there. We just see how can we contribute. And that's where the mantra is so powerful, because every time you bring us back to the mantra, that's if we just keep that in our mind, then we have this sweetness that comes to the unfavorable situation, even though it's not sweet, but we can bring sweetness to it somehow.
Beautiful. You brought many beautiful points. One thing is coming to my mind. We are learning all these principles and applying them in our life. And then comes the Shanti mantra. This is one of the many Shanti mantras that we do in this meditation. So what our masters who lived almost 8,000 years ago says, you know the mantra, that is it. That will lead you to the awakening. But if you do not understand the mantra, then you have to study everything. So what Jerry was saying, that even if I absorb completely the mantra, You need not to do the practice of meditation. You are already in that state. That is the beauty of this journey. But no master will tell you that in the very beginning, no master will tell you that this is the mantra and this is it. Because mind will not accept it. Again, I'm going back to the same example of this guy. He's wonderful, he's intelligent, but he's not able to pick up. Why he's not able to pick up? Because of the impurity of the mind. He's not intelligent. I cannot say that he is not intelligent. He's running a successful business, he's managing more than 60 employees. How can you say? So you see, the in between the impurity comes. Thank you, Jerry, sharing your experiences. How are you, Brandy?
Morning, I'm good, thank you. I had a really subtle experience where I was um, telling myself to go to lane 2, and then it just occurred to me to stop telling myself to go to lane 2 and just be in lane 2. And it was that shift and then I was in it and didn't want to come out.
Beautiful. Yes, it happens. You see that all of your experiences or the knowledge that I'm passing, they go together. And that is where your expression comes. And that makes me very happy. My master used to, when I said, make me your student, he said, no, I don't make any students. I make masters. Are you ready? So I have to master myself. It's a beautiful way to put it, the way the Brandy has put it. Lane 2 is the intellect. Intellect. Another name of the intellect is knowledge. Another name of the knowledge is awareness. You see, this is how our master explains. If you have any doubt about it, that very knowledge is awareness. Even if I don't ask the mind what is the name of Brandy, I still recognize her. Do you see that? While sharing the experiences, I go for some subtle points so that I will explain it in the future. Beautiful. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. When I was doing the breathing exercises, I felt very, very cold. But as soon as I visualized the triangle, I felt this wonderful warmth coming over me.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful. And then the meditation for me today was very, very deep and peaceful. And I just didn't want to come out of it. I wanted to stay there.
That's really beautiful. When it happens, it becomes difficult to come out of the meditation. That is definitely an indication the mind is absorbed deeper within. Now, see that Barbara today just talked about while doing the step of the triangle, he felt totally absorbed and much calmer. You can recall, or I will remind you next week, but think of it. What the 3 sides of a triangle represents. But ultimately, the equilateral triangle pointing upward is a representation of a Shiva, who is one of the originators of yoga. That is how these geometrical design and figures also work. Beautiful, beautiful, Barbara. How are you, Sam? You're so looking.
I'm good.
Good.
Everything was very easy today. I felt very absorbed by the end and had a difficult time coming out of the meditation.
Ah, I'm so happy. Majority of you are saying this. It becomes difficult to come out of the meditation. So it means it adds to another responsibility. This couple of days, you keep on doing it and check how many times it becomes difficult for you to come out of the meditation. And give a 1 hour window. You do it by the audio file, and after that, you see whether the mind remains into that state of, and mind says, no, I don't want to come out. So what will happen? One day, everything happens. I'm so happy, beautiful. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I noticed my doing mind and I wanted to problem solve and then I would bring it back. And I did notice by doing that, I was able to feel clearer, brighter, more at peace.
More at peace.
Yeah.
Not just I'm asking you casually, which one is better, psychotherapy or Eastern wisdom therapy? No, don't answer because you are like, yes. One thing is very important when everything is easy. I wanted to pay attention to this and remember this. It's very difficult to operate this mouse. So is it a fault of the mouse or is it my fault? Tell me. That solves all the problems. I find this situation is bad. I find this person is bad. Mind is going outward. It has a wrong interpretation based on the commander in chief and its armies. That is why this mouse is bad. But mouse does not know it is bad. Are you getting it? Mouse does not know. Mouse is inert. Mouse doesn't say to me that I'll be bad with you the moment you touch me. Then what happened? It is my interpretation. What is that interpretation coming from the commander in chief? What is the preference with the likes and dislikes? Understand it, digest it 100%. Life will be easy all the moment. You know, psychotherapy is better. It is so famous in the world, you know. So I was also doing it, so why should I say it is not? How are you, Terry?
I'm good. My experience was just kind of like a blank.
Blank. That's good.
I didn't struggle. I was just sort of gone. And
Very good. We should struggle to come out of the meditation. Otherwise, there is no struggle in life. If you have a struggle in life on that area, it means ladder in the snake. That we need to recognize. I'm very happy, Terry. That's good. How are you, Ashok?
Thank you, sir. Was peace and calm. Nothing more to say.
Very good. Peace and calm. When Honey says anything, you say peace and calm. She has also been my student. Anytime she says anything, you don't listen to me, peace and calm. Sometime I have advised these two phrases in relationship coaching, and it worked really. So don't envy those who have no honey, you know. So how are you, Vaibhav? Yes.
Thank you, sir. Sir, mine was calm. It was dropping the impression very easily, totally absorbed.
Totally absorbed. I'm so happy. Everyone is saying, narrating their good experiences. Very good, Vaibhav. So we have Anesthesia.
Thank you. It was very deep meditation. My nose today was blocked. I don't know why, but I managed. I was breathing a little bit slower, but still breathing in some different tempo. And then it was just nothingness and blankness. And I feel light and rejuvenated. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Don't you see? I'm asking you all, except Anastasia, that the way she speaks so sweetly, it has an anesthetic effect, but at the conscious level. That's why her name is Anastasia. You know, she translates our session on Mondays. I volunteer that session. She's wonderful. She's on time all the time. That is very important at this young age. So sometimes people have that state directly straightforward. I'm not comparing, but comparing for the sake of understanding. Now I may be extra intelligent. You know, sometimes we say, oh, he seems to be very extra intelligent. And at the same time, he is totally stressful. What is the use of being, extra intelligent and at the same time I'm struggling? Do you remember? My dear friend Bill Gates lived loveless life for 27 years. So he was struggling inside, but we cannot deny his intelligence. But anyhow, Bill Gates should not sue me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Namaste,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.